me, morning. It's Saturday today, day 38 since my original diagnosis, and the ball is definitely rolling now. So I've been to see the oncologist consultant and kind of got an understanding of my sort of chemo treatment and all of that kind of good stuff, and that was Tuesday this week. And I spoke to her, and she said that the process would be that I'm going to have one of these PICC lines installed, which is basically like a semi-permanent like connection, I suppose. So rather than having needles injected all the time, I just have a very small procedure which puts a line into my large vein in my arm and then pushes a little tube all the way up that vein round towards my heart, and then I have two little connectors dangling out my arm for the next 3 months, which then allows them to put the chemo treatment in, for them to take blood out, all of that kind of stuff very, very easily. So she said I'd get a phone call from a nurse in Guildford, the specialist nurse for the chemo, who would call me, talk me through that, set a date for the PICC line to be installed, and then a date for the first of the chemo, and then every 2 weeks kind of after that. So on Tuesday when I was speaking with her, I kind of said, well, how long did she think I'd have to wait before I sort of heard from the nurse to set all of that up? And she said that would be about 2 to 3 weeks, and then it'd all kind of get kicking. Now, one of the things that as God has really been good to me with is this sense of peace that has defied understanding, which continues, which has been wonderful, but also the speed that things happen. And so on Tuesday, I let everybody know that we need to pray now for this appointment to happen quickly, for the nurse to call and all of that kind of good stuff, bearing in mind that the time frame was 2 or 3 weeks. Anyway, we prayed, and yesterday, that's 3 days after my appointment, I had a letter through that was written like 2 days before that, i.e. the day after my appointment, to say that it's all been set up for week after next. It's all beginning. So the 22nd of February, I'll have my consultant call with the chemo nurse. The next day, the 23rd, I'll have the PICC line installed, and then the next day, the 24th, I will have my first set of 6 of the chemotherapies. And it's just amazing. God is so good. You've heard me say this so many times, and he has demonstrated his goodness to me time and time again. And this is just another example of it. Instead of waiting 2 to 3 weeks for this, as the consultant suggested, it was 2 or 3 days. And I'm delighted that the ball is rolling. I'm delighted that I've kind of got some sense of what the routine will be, although there's not a fixed plan, obviously, because if my enzymes come back from the blood tests before the chemo as not being okay, then they'll defer the chemo a week, and so everything gets knocked out by a week. But in theory, I kind of got a plan. I know right now through till sort of like the 5th of May, something like that, 3rd or 5th of May will be my kind of last chemo treatment. So I've kind of got an end in sight for the chemo, and then we get to take some MRIs to see where the cancer is on the liver, which is what this chemo is all about. And our prayer is that it goes completely, and then I can just move on, have the surgery on my bowel, and go from there. But do please pray for that, because if that isn't the case, if the cancer on the liver doesn't go completely, then I'll have to have an operation on my liver as well. So it's a good day today. I'm delighted that yesterday I got the letter through the post. Instead of waiting 2 or 3 weeks, I've seen God's goodness demonstrated again to me, and it was just 2 or 3 days. So just wanted to share that with you, and yeah, we'll catch up soon.